Hey, what's up, everybody? So we see some red today, and that's exactly what we talked about in the previous video. This exact thing happening, which is, let's start with ADA. Why not? So we talked about this finishing here, right? So you have a move down, you have a move up, and then you have a move back down, and that is a three-wave shape, right? If you look at this move, you also have three in that move, right? But if you kind of look at it from this perspective, a descending triangle, right? What happens is you kind of bounce around a little bit, and then this is the key area right here. And that's how I knew we were most likely going to break down. So you can see we kind of had volatility slow down, and then boom. Now there was a chance where for it to come back up in a B wave, so you'd get like five down, A, and then this would pop up for a B. It'd be a fake out, it'd be a flat, and then it would come down for the C, and then it would go up, right? But then it would have took more time for that. So let's see, total three, same thing with total three. You kind of see right there, same type of behavior, right? You can we identify the head and shoulders right in here, right? You're cupping down into support, you're cupping down into support, you're cupping down into support, and then eventually that gets weak and then it breaks, right? Versus cupping into the resistance, right? If we would have cupped into the resistance, it would have been a higher probability. But this is a good thing. We wanted to see this because we wanted to see a three-wave shape. Why? Because we have well, in some charts we have a five-wave move. I don't like this as a five because the wave three is too small. Let's take a look at a couple others. I'm just kind of running through them really quick here. Like for example, H bar. This is a good five-wave move. So you have one, two, three, four, five. It's a diagonal shape, right? It's got that shape to it. So that's a wave. That's a wave one. Okay, and then you have what appears to be a wave two. So let's see if this is finished. I don't think it's quite finished yet. I mean, it could be finished, but I don't quite think so. To me, it seems like you have one, two, three. Remember, today is Friday, so the weekend's coming up. So I probably would wait. If I'm going to look for long opportunities, I would probably either dollar cost average for sure, right? But more importantly, I would probably want to see what Saturday, Sunday looks like, especially Sunday and how the weekly close comes in, because we could be coming up for Friday and Saturday and then coming down and finishing maybe sometime in the next week. This coming week, right? And then we get that divergence, and then we kind of play around, and then that's when we start to continue, right? And then you kind of have that one, two, or that A, B, C, right? Five, three, one, two, three, four, five. So 5, 3, 5 is an A, B, C. So yeah, it's exactly what we thought. A link. Let me see here. Theta. Same thing with theta, right? You got this. Look at this. It's exactly what we were talking about. The last thing we were talking about with XRP is this bear flag right in here, right? We said it came down, and then you had a three-wave move up. We said it's probably likely we're going to move back down, and that's exactly what happened. So it's nice. It's nice to know that we had the edge over the price. It sucks that the price came down, but it's actually a good thing that the price came down, because that's how you reset momentum. That's how you reset the sentiment. That's how you reset the oscillators. That's how you reset the price. That's what you want, right? You get these moves down to get the move up. You get the move down to get the move up. Let's see if we get that move up soon. I don't know if it's quite time yet, right? Another thing too is we came down beautifully to backtest this area, and I would actually consider maybe getting a little bit of theta for a long. Not now, because obviously it popped up pretty. I mean, this is a pretty nice little move there, but it could be that it's finished, because when we zoom in here, is this a fourth wave, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could be. It could be a 5-wave move. Let's keep looking around. What's XRP telling us? Wow, XRP looks pretty good, because you have this. I like XRP because, well, I did not like XRP over here, right? You could see how, we were talking about XRP. By the way, I got out of all my trades before this happened, right? But I will get back in for sure. But I actually went short on a couple things. One of them being dog. I don't know if you remember in the last video, but dog looked like an amazing short. So I pulled the trigger on that, worked out nicely. But when we looked at XRP over here, you can kind of see what was going on, right? Where you move down in this descending triangle, and then what happens is volatility slows, and then it basically flatlines, and then it just dies, right? It's called a descending triangle. There's many examples when we look at Bitcoin really quick. So we're going to talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin now officially has a 3-wave move. It looks beautiful too. It looks pretty nice, actually. I just don't know if it's finished. Is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Like a diagonal? Is this 1, 2, 3? Then we're going to get 4, then 5? Is it, yeah, see, it looks like, do we have 5 here? For the A wave. Is it A or is it W? Right? It kind of looks like A. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A. Okay, so then you have 1, 2, 3 for B, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's an A, B, C. That's a 3-wave move. That's a B. All right, so you got an A, B, and then you have 1, 2. Is this 3, 4, and 5? Or is this whole thing 3 and then we're going to get 4, then 5? So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm waiting for. You don't have to be a rush to get in, but you want to identify it. And, the interesting thing is we have support here, right? So I would be kind of in the wheelhouse of dollar cost averaging, because you can see right where we're at. It appears you have sort of 5, but you also have a 3-wave shape. So we should understand that the low should be coming in very soon, right? It should be coming in very soon. So let's see how that plays out. So yeah, so let's if we go back and we look at Bitcoin, here's a couple little things here. So let's see. Back over here is a really good example. So this is probably the epitome of what a descending triangle is. This is probably the best example on the planet what it is for crypto, right? This was the infamous descending triangle of 2018, 2019, right? And this is what we identified in the previous video, and we talked about this right here, how we sort of oscillate, and then we're cupping down into support, we're cupping down into support, we're cupping down into support, and then you can see the cups are getting smaller, the rallies are getting weaker, sentiment is going down, and then we go again, and then what happens is we just flatline like you're a dead patient. You're the doctor's trying to give you CPR and you're just dead, and then bam, you go to the, well, it looks like you went to hell because you crashed to the floor. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so we had, so once that occurs, right, what do you look for? Well, you look for 5 waves, but you also look for divergence, right? And this kind of popped up, and then you flagged out without taking the low, and you kind of made a higher low, and that's where the rally got kicked off. So we have to identify something like that, right, to be really, really sure. Because what could be the risk? You could say, well, who cares? You could buy here, 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 here. We're going to go up anyway. No, well, that's true and in some sense, but here's the thing. Let me go back and let me explain the problem here. Let's see. Which one do I want to do it on? Let's do it with shib, since we haven't looked at shib. I'll circle back to XRP and theta. So just give me a moment here. I'm just kind of scouting through, but so it probably shib was the best example. So unfortunately, I had to get rid of my shib. I really didn't want to. And it's kind of funny. Maybe I didn't really have to because it came right down to my entry, but I was like $7,000 to $8,000 in profit. So I was not about to lose all of that. So I had to do what I had to do, But I will get back in, and it will be good, and we will do something else, right? Because the deal was, if I could hold this trade until we get back into the stratosphere, right? Because SHIB is the best looking meme coin chart on the planet. There's nothing better. I mean, I haven't really looked at all the memes, but as far as the memes in the top 20, top 10, top 50, whatever, SHIB is the one, right? Just by the structure of the chart. Not the meme. It doesn't matter about the meme. It matters about the structure of the chart. It looks phenomenal, right? So, but I wasn't about to ride that down because, we're a big reason why as well is because the risk of this being some kind of fourth wave. It's possible that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a little bit too big, but I didn't want to take that risk, especially there's just a lot of unknowns right now with the tariffs. And I mean, obviously those deals are getting straightened out, but it's a surprise in the White House every day. Anything can happen, right? Especially knowing where Bitcoin was, knowing Bitcoin needed to flag out, right? Knowing we needed this correction, knowing that it looked like it was bearish, right?